would you kind of assess Joel's return tonight?
I mean, listen, he certainly was, certainly rusty, right? And both rusty a little bit in conditioning, I think, showed up fairly early. I've seen him kind of play through that before, kind of respond in the second half after being on a layoff a little bit. Seemed to do it a little bit, but then I thought he got a little tired again in the fourth, but again, probably to be expected. Thought he played with some pretty good competitive spirit, for what he could do out there. Yeah, that's it.
Do you expect him to play tomorrow in the back-to-back?
Yeah, on Joel and Paul, both of them. We're not sure at this time. They're going to check them out here. They're going to check them out in the morning to see where they're at, and we'll try to update you as soon as we can on that.
Speaking of Paul, that was obviously his best game for you guys. Just what did you see his performance tonight that maybe unlocked for him a little better tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job. I thought our guys did a good job of freeing him up for some looks. Some of the similar looks he's been getting off some of the similar sets, and he, obviously made them tonight. That always helps. And I think he got a burst of energy from that. He kind of got going early, was able to continue to look. He made one or two really tough ones, right? But other than that, I think he did a good job at creating. He did or we did some space for him to get some good looks. But yeah, I thought he looked really confident, scoring the ball tonight.
What did McCain show you with his ability to get into the paint tonight?
Yeah, kind of the same thing he's been showing us, right? I mean, he just continues to be a real bright spot. Threat from three, which we obviously need. Offense creation on his own, which we obviously need. And he competes, man. He competes. He's not afraid out there, and he's been playing really well. Really big bright spot.
You guys were kind of right there in the fourth quarter,
Yep.
And then they went on that run, and that was kind of it.
Yep.
What kind of went wrong, like in that front?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I gotta go back and look. I do remember a kind of a wide open McCain 8-footer and a wide open 14-footer from Yabusele, and then a wide open 3 from Yabusele. We didn't make any of them, right? That doesn't help. I mean, we created really good shots and gave up a little bit in transition. I thought we gave up some drives to the rim that we were kind of getting to in the first half, and getting them out of there, and we just weren't quite getting to the help on those, or probably shouldn't have been up getting beat that high up on the floor, right? Should have been a little bit more containment, but we were trying to play really hard, make a play, and we're getting beat at 30 feet, and here comes the Brunson downhill, and we just weren't quite getting there to the help as we were in the first half. A little bit maybe a fatigue, to be honest, but and also awareness. That was probably it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Joel seemed a little bit more comfortable, I guess, using his body and moving more on defense than he did on offense. I guess, what do you attribute that to in this early on?
Yeah, he did a pretty good job out there. We did change some coverages. I mean, Cat dotted us for 2 early threes on the pick and pops, and kind of said, let's we don't want to watch that much anymore. So we started changing some coverages, was put Joel on into some switching or kind of blitzing situations to try to shake that coverage up a little bit. But yeah, he jumped out there like he was gonna guard and moved pretty well. Yeah.
What do you anticipate he'll get back quickest once he starts playing more regularly?
Joel?
Yeah.
Oh, I just think when he's playing well, he's kind of got command of the game at the offensive end, right? He's either creating good shots for himself or creating a lot of defensive schemes against him, which is creating much easier shots for our guys, right? I think that's part of rhythm, that's part of conditioning, all that kind of stuff. He's a great shooter. That'll come back too, I think. Yeah.
Kind of seems like tonight you guys had some struggles passing the ball, whether it was throwing a cross-court pass that got picked off or missing a few open looks inside. Just did you notice that, and what would you attribute just some rough passing to?
Well, I think it's a little bit of a theme. I don't think we've passed it great this year. We're certainly much at this point. We've been a lot more high turnover than we were a year ago, right? But again, there's a lot of new guys out there, and a lot of times we have the ball in Tyrese, Joel's hands, and they're gonna command it and take care of it. We got a lot of different guys trying to handle the ball and make plays, but I hear you. It'd be nice if we would get a little bit more on target, right? And again, give the Knicks some credit too. I mean, they chase you hard, and they got length. They got some length, and they're tipping some of those because of their good defense.
You get Joel back and Paul back in the lineup. How much more confident are you about things starting to go back your way eventually and starting to see the team that you envisioned at the beginning of the year?
No, I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I think there was, again, it's certainly not fun to lose that game, but I thought there was some really great segments today, both ends of the floor, right? And I think, again, we need some more connectivity, and we're not going to get that till we get some minutes together out there, right? But I think there was certainly some flashes of really good play at both ends, yeah.
Did you get a feel for how your pieces, your complementary pieces, are kind of?
I'm getting there. Yeah, I'm getting there. I think we're still, looking at it. I mean, I told the TNT people before the game, one of the good things is we are getting a really good look at some of these other guys. We're getting an in-depth, heavy minute look, and that can only be good as we figure out how to piece it together. Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody.
Since you came back from the injury, just what unlocked for you tonight, or just what were you seeing on the floor that sort of led to the offensive game?
I think, just continue to get games under my belt. Again, I thought the first couple of games, which I still am, just trying to get feet back under me, get the win there. I thought for a lot of those first couple games, just hard to catch the wind and keep up with the pace of the game, being out. And so, tonight, I felt my wind was coming back a little more. I was a little more energetic. My legs were a little more into the shots, which allowed me to kind of get in the rhythm.
I feel after getting poked.
Yeah, it was better today. It was slightly. I mean, it was a little, a slight sensitivity to the light still, but it was fine. It wasn't an issue tonight.
When you say that you feel your feet under you more today, has that been a steady progression each game, or has today been like a notable difference?
It's been a steady progression. I feel like it's getting better and better. I still feel like I'm still trying to work through it a little bit, but I'm going longer stints, I feel like, of being able to, run without tiring out so fast. So just trying to challenge myself and, being as running and being as active as possible on both ends, just so I can start to build that out and be, where I want to be towards middle of the season. So it's an ongoing process, but I'm gaining strides in that aspect.
Paul, when you guys acquired James last season in LA, it was a rough start for you guys record-wise. I guess having experienced that, what's your message to your teammates? I guess how do you navigate sort of avoiding the panic of a 2-8 start to the season?
Yeah, I saw some statistic that the teams that kind of start off bad like this tend to play well and have a great stretch and kind of turn their season around late into the season. So not to, be leaning on that, but, I think the LA experience with the talent we had, it was definitely underwhelming and underperforming up to that point. But season's long. I do think once we get all of our pieces together, we will start making, strides in the right direction, and we'll start to get some consistency, and the chemistry will continue to take off. But, right now, Joel's first game back, Tyrese is still out, so we've yet to see this team complete. And it's those are big pieces for us, and so we're all trying to do maybe a little more than we're supposed to be doing, which is okay because we're trying to fill in big voids and big gaps. But once we're full strength, I think that's when we can kind of judge how we are.
Were there moments tonight when you could kind of like, even though Joel's limited, the rotation's kind of still janky a little bit, like, okay, this is how it's going to work, and this is what it's going to be like? Yeah. You just see again the
how much he demands eyes and attention on him. And for me, you know, it was a lot of it was just kind of learning, and you know, I'm in isolation on some moments, and then you know he's posting up, so it's like you know he's a force out there, and so you got to find him, you got to see him, because he's got a mismatch. You know, nobody can really guard him, and if they can, it's going to be a rough day for them down there. But you know, again, just the level of two guys on them, the rotations they have to double. Kind of similar how my time in LA was with Kawhi. Kawhi kind of demands that same attention at the blocks, but he just opens the floor up so much. So it was a lot for me to take away from this game on how I can free myself up even more and how I can try to help him get into a rhythm and free himself up even more.
I think it was the first play of the game that he went back door on the baseline or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's kind of an example of what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, cause he's as great of a shooter and scorer he is. I mean, he's a willing and great passer as well. So, just being live at any moment, I think is a huge threat.
What about the complementary pieces? Caleb's, the Jared's now, I guess. I mean, it seems like you have some of those pieces to fit around you guys. It's a lot in there.
Yeah. I mean, you go down the line from KO, Caleb, Jared, Yabo. I mean, we really have some depth. Again, I think it's just, we got to get full strength so everybody kind of knows their part and how to play their role. And so everything, the chips can kind of fall where they fall. And, from that point on, we can kind of build as a team. But I love all the pieces we have. We have depth. We got a deep roster over here. We just got to, start to put it in play.
Wasn't made about you guys and managing back-to-back situations this season, and obviously Joel's part of that, but you were mentioned as part of that too. I guess, how do you feel about that kind of a plan, and how does your body feel ahead of potentially playing tomorrow, because Nick didn't rule it out?
Yeah, I kind of see how it feels in the morning. 32 is kind of, especially getting back, just trying to look at all the things. Hopefully I feel really good in the morning, and kind of just see where it goes from there.
Been a franchise player on a franchise team. You know what the pressure is of that. What do you think Joel's kind of dealing with as he ramps back up to get back on the court? Because you want to get back out there, you want to be there for your teammates, but it may take some time.
Yeah, I think there's no pressure for him. I mean, he is the piece, he's the process. I think he just finds his way as he should. We're here to kind of keep things going afloat until he gets back to himself. But I don't think there's any pressure for him to do anything extra. He'll find his rhythm as the games go on. As we learn how to play off of him and play around him, I see, I've seen it in practice, so I know he's not too far off. Obviously, games are different, but I've seen him playing at a high level in these practices, so he's not too far off.
Jared, real quick, what did he show you tonight, and what has he shown you this season as far as his
I think just a level of just fearless. He's relentless. He's confident. You don't see a lot of these qualities in rookies that come in and are just ready. It's impressive. He gives a ton of energy on both ends. He plays extremely hard. He's willing to do dirty work, stick his nose in there. He's trying to keep possessions alive. He's, shooting when he's open. He's attacking. I mean, he's doing everything that you can ask. And he's, to be honest, has been, a light in all of this, coming off the bench and giving us a spark. So, it's great, especially I know for Nick to have someone so young just be reliable in that aspect. Appreciate it.